Big Red Nation, are we here?
The best show for Chicago sports.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's good? How y'all feeling today, man? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. We got a lot to get to today, and we got a couple of hours to do it, so we're going to take our time and kick it, man. We having fun with you on this Friday. Listen, reports out of yesterday, Bears brass very impressed by Justin Fields. Per Matt Eburflus on the Rich Eisen show. Also, Robert Quinn wants out. It's being reported by Jason Lockenfora, which, if you are a Bears fan and you know Jason Lockenfora, take all of that with a grain of salt. Also, are the Bears the worst team in the NFL? ESPN thinks so. We're going to talk about all that and more. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. So we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. The super producers in the building.
What's up?
And
What's
it's
up?
Friday.
What's going on?
Got a cold one. Let's go. It's 12
He's on.
It's 12 o'clock on the East Coast, ain't it, baby? Hey,
He's on fire, people. He's ready to go.
Hey, man. How y'all feeling today, man? What's going on? Y'all already know, man. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Joined by the super producer, Joel Holt. Joel, what's the word, man?
Man, how's it going, man?
I'm excited that you have the mic set up now. You know what I'm saying? Last time we've had you in here, like you've been using the AirPods. You know what I mean? The mic is crispy, my boy, is what I'm saying.
You know, fortunately, it's been a lot of good things that happened in my life in the last few months. So there's been a lot of transition, improvements.
Yeah.
So you've caught me where I'm like, I'm not quite ready to get the setup going. So yeah, I've been making a slow transition. So and getting on when I can get on, you know. But
You
we
do
got
look
bigger.
like you
Go ahead.
do look like you in the same dungeon that Ringo was in for a little while.
There's more changes to come, man. More changes right now. I'm like, let me get on here. I miss you guys. Well, you, because everybody, P Kid and Ringo, where everybody else is at, AB. I'm just glad to be able to get on here this weekend or this Friday.
Hey,
What's up, Jalen Martin? What's going on, buddy?
Jay Martin, a building. You know what I'm saying?
Jay
Jay Martin jumped into Discord immediately and started trouble. I do want to point that out. Like, he immediately, yeah, you know Jay Martin.
I know Jay Martin. Yeah.
You know Jay Martin. Yeah. We all know Jay Martin, right? You don't feel good about it, but you know him. Nah, man, we got a lot to get into, man. It's a Friday. Shout out to everybody for pulling up. May 20th in this mug. No, we are halfway through. We are past halfway through May. By the way, if you're in here right now, man, I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor and
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us. We're going to get into of course, news around the Bears, news around Justin Fields, Robert Quinn wanting out. Where the heck did that come from? Now, I will say, I saw it reported by Jason Lockenfora in Sports Mockery. That essentially means it's probably not going to happen. But, we'll see where life takes us with that one. But, also, got to get into the drumming last night that was the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, does the losing team know that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals? It don't seem like it. And then a question to the chat we're going to drop about Derek White Jr. as well. All that and more on the show today. Appreciate y'all for pulling up and showing love, man. Let's get into this mug, man, because we heard last night. Well, not really last night, was it? Probably about 3:00 when I saw the Rich Eisen clip come out. Shout out to Baki for sending that in the Discord as well. But he talked about how the Bears were overwhelmingly impressed with Justin Fields' progress early on in this season, or early on in training camp, right? Because it seems like how the Bears are approaching this and how they've approached the offseason, how they're approaching things, just kind of coming into training camp and stuff like that, is that not only do we have to get pieces for this team to do well, but it seemed like how Matt Eburflus was talking was like, we had to break a lot of the things that he learned yesterday or last year. We had to break a lot of the things that he learned, a lot of the mechanics he developed, a lot of uh, 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 the habits that he formed. We essentially had to turn him back into a rookie quarterback.
Right.
And now they're seeing the strides come forward. Talking about new leadership has been overwhelmingly impressed, saying that he's already instituted mechanical changes and looks comfortable with them. His command of the playbook in just a few months has allowed him to be a vocal leader both on the field and in the meeting rooms. His charisma is infectious. This is his team, and the players around him are responding. The leadership loves everything they've seen from Field since taking over the franchise, but folks, he still has to do it all on Sundays. That's all that matters. But are you encouraged to hear kind of how Coach Flus and how Ryan Poles and them have taken this approach to Justin Fields, right? Like, I feel like we all kind of felt that same thing. Like, we were watching them last year and we were like, they're going to break them.
You know what, man? The problem is, like, I'm old. You know, propaganda, selling tickets. I hope so. I mean, I think he has what it takes. I've always said that it's a coaching that was coaching that was a problem last year. We have talent.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you know, we didn't get Justin Fields anything, any weapons. It's like it's actually addition by attrition. Because what they've done is that people keep forgetting we got these 2 running backs. I still think Komet's like Stone Hands Komet, but you know, what it looks like what they're going to do is they're going to basically going to be more run heavy. They're going to basically be kind of like Baltimore-ish.
Yeah.
And they're going to basically depend on that defense. That defense, that cover 2 defense is a very successful defense when you have the right pieces. And I actually see some of the comments. Shout out to Kevin Green. What's up? And Keyshawn. I am hoping that, yes, they did finally get our Mike Brown safety. I was actually very encouraged that we got him, as well as now we got 2 good cornerbacks. So if, you know, not to necessarily digress over to that side of it, but the fact is they're building the team up to surround Justin Fields where they are going to run more. They're probably going to do all the things that we wanted him to do last year, which is being able to be able to run out the pocket, you know, screens, all the things that we wanted, he'll be able to do. But he might be a little bit of a better quarterback than what, well, I don't want to start a firestorm, but dare I say that he'll be a little bit better than old boy in Baltimore, where it's like he'll pass a little bit more, in my opinion, than run first.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think there's a lot of option for RPO with them. I will say this, right? Like, I agree on the propaganda side as well. Like, we know, like, listen, like, nobody's gonna come out of here and be like, this guy sucks, right? But I think the part we got to focus on is that, like, even the people who are allowed in there to see practices, now they only get to see a couple of them, but when you're allowed in there to see him, right, they're talking about his footwork, they're talking about his mechanics as well. The things that we heard around Mitch, and granted, we're not at the point where we're at training camp yet, but things that we would hear around Mitch is like, they're hoping that his mechanics come together. They're hoping that he kind of figures it out. They're hoping that, and we didn't see it on the field, at least here early in OTAs, you know, we're kind of seeing him go through it. We're seeing him at least deliver the ball well. You know what I'm saying?
What they were trying to do was put Mitch and he was a square peg in a round hole for an offense. They didn't want to use his athletic ability to set up those passes. They have to do that with Justin Fields. I don't think it's like, oh, he's Peyton Manning 2.0 and just going to grasp this offense. It takes years for them to learn this. But what we're going to do is we're going to utilize your athletic ability. And so they're smart enough to say we're going to use him for what we can use him for.
Well, I think the difference there is, right, like, you're using him, but like, this is the thing that I've said about Ryan Poles coming into this, and it's also why I'm encouraged, right? They've simplified the playbook, essentially. Like, they're like, so this is what you learned last year. Let's tear all of that out. Here's a page. We want you to run this page, figure this page out. And how they built the team, this is why I said, right, like, I'm excited by maybe not this season, but by the future, because they're building the team based on what they're going to face year one for Justin Fields. They're focusing on this season being a development season. They're focusing on this season with Justin Fields taking a step and getting comfortable, right? And if that means, hey, we're going to make it easy as we can on you, and we're going to utilize a lot of these guys. They bring in blazing game. You've got 2 running backs already. They probably got a third in there. But you're talking about the 49ers and the Packers. And the Packers kind of middling on run defense, right? After that, this schedule is set up for the Bears to run the football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Packers, Texans, Giants, Vikings, Commanders, Patriots, decent little run defense, Cowboys, Dolphins, Lions, Falcons. There's no reason to pass.
Yeah, they're probably gonna mirror San Francisco more than they are gonna mirror Green Bay. You know, Jimmy G is not someone that's gonna
Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm saying, but that offense, that's what we're looking at. If Cole Kmet will be the key to anything. If like that's who we should be seeing as a break. If it's on him. It's on Cole Kmet as the stopgap, as the dump off, because that's what the 49ers offense is. That's kind of, I think that's what we're gonna be. Because what's your name? I mean, if they use Montgomery is tough, right?
Yeah.
Montgomery is probably the closest thing to Debo in terms of toughness, yards out, all that yak and after contact, all that type of stuff. So they're probably going to mirror that. And then you take like a Tampa 2 defense I'm curious to see if we get that Larry Ogunjobi, if he, and we don't know what the other defensive tackle, that nose tackle that they did sign in after him, but if we have any variation of that, the main 3 of that defense, we're going to be very successful. And then the fact that you got 2 good cornerbacks, because I still think Jalen Johnson's a good cornerback, and then the rookie, I think he's going to be decent. But if Brisker is anywhere near what Mike Brown is, or anywhere near John Lynch, or anywhere on that level, well,
if he's a Hall of Famer, we good.
He's a Hall of Famer. If he's a Hall of Famer,
John Lynch, bro.
hey, you should do the high five. The championship is coming to Chicago, brother.
I love that. Hey man, listen. Did you just Dan Orlovsky us, dog? Is that what you just did, bro? Hey, listen. If he turns into John Lynch, bro,
but that's
we'll really be set moving forward. I would think so.
I'm telling you, no. You need comparable play out of that. When we lost, I don't even think, even if because Mike Brown went down, we just did not get anybody in there to play that strong safety position like you're supposed to. They act like the second linebacker.
Yeah.
So the whole point is that when we lost that defense lost his bite. Urlacher was a killer. Briggs was a killer. We lost Tommy Harris, and then we lost Mike Brown. And that defense still went to the Super Bowl without Tommy Harris and without Mike Brown. Yeah. So imagine having your solid stud defensive tackle. I mean, Warren Sapp and them won it, right? They won it. They had those 3 components. Because oh man, who's the linebacker for the Bucks back then? Like he was super quick, super fast enough that he could basically roam. That's what Roquan's going to do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see this defense. I'm disappointed that Quinn wants to leave. Supposedly,
well,
we still need the defensive ends to do their job.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need that. Cover 2 works with comparable safety play with that in conjunction with the middle linebacker, in conjunction with the nose tackle.
And here's the thing, right? Like it's going to be for me, right, an interesting setup here based on what you do if Quinn does one out, right? Like that's kind of being reported on. Jason Lockenfor essentially said on CBS that he believes they may have to change their minds before this year is over about Robert Quinn. Says, I continue to hear that Quinn wants out, and who could blame him? There are hosts of interest in teams. Bears brass has told everyone he's not going anywhere, but they will keep asking, and that's not lost on the veteran defensive end. The Bears look hapless. They dealt fellow veteran pass rusher Khalil Mack already, and Akeem Hicks doesn't seem likely to be back.
I think technically, no. Quinn is old. He did cash in with all the sacks. And if you can get somebody,
what was he? 30?
he's
31?
like in football years, that's dog years, man. You're like right at the end, especially for a defensive end. I mean, if he has that type of longevity, allows him to go to 36, 37.
32.
Yeah. So why, I could see trying to make a move to flip for that. But you know what? We need to stay on topic, man. Justin Fields. The coaches are impressed with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said, it sounds good. That's what you're supposed to say. I do think that we're going to see. I'm excited. I think we're going to get the offense that we should probably be getting, which is probably more run heavy. I'm excited to see what Herbert does. And so I see a lot of chips and dump offs. And if anything, coming from where the coordinator Getsy came from the Packers, look at the numbers. The two running backs, they had almost 1,000 yards receiving. Yeah, you look up the numbers.
You get a ton of run. You get a ton of run with that running back position. I think that and here's the thing, right? It's what we were asking for last season. The Bears literally, you want to talk about a square peg in a round hole, like you were mentioning with Mitch. The Bears literally were like, we got to make Justin Fields good now so I can keep my job.
Right.
Make it work. And it's like, no, it's not going to work. Even listen, I don't care if it was Andy Dalton. I don't care if it was Nick Foles. You needed to be handing the ball off.
They were trying
20 to 30 times a game last season.
They were trying to fix the 2018 team. Period. That's all they've been trying to do. Matt Nagy, shot his shot and went and got brought in Foles because he thought you don't bring him in just because he's going to be a backup. He was cost too much to be a backup. You thought he's going to come in and catch lightning in a bottle like they did in Philly. And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, well, look.
I kind of thought it too, but it was all based on that offensive line.
Right, but if because Mitch is have enough athletic ability to get out of that bad line to extend the plays. But they get mad because he's extending the plays, but he might get hurt, which he did against Minnesota. And I think he got hurt again. I think he got hurt twice that year.
Shoulder against Minnesota that year.
But they were trying to fix. Everybody's trying to save their jobs from the 2018 team. Let's catch the magic. One more shot. And you know what? Tell you what, we'll get this rookie in here. And hopefully, because, the logistics said it did not make sense to pay Mitch $250-some million based off that. They didn't want to tag him and give him all that money.
I wouldn't have paid him that money either. I'm fine with how they did things with Mitch, right? I don't think the process while he was here was good, but I'm fine with how at least the process ended with Mitch, because it's one of the decisions that I said to Ryan Pace. This is a good move on Pace's part because you don't know if he can play. Guess what? We're 4 or 5 years, or we're what, 3 years past Mitch being here now. We still don't know if Mitch can play. The Steelers don't know if Mitch can play. They went and got Kenny Pickett, and he's probably going to be the starter there. I hope Mitch get a starting spot.
I think Mitch will be.
I hope so. The storyline is very.
We'll see. I look, man. I was one of the few that was excited that hey, Pace made a move and went and got a quarterback. Holy crap! Now I'm like, why didn't you? You could have called Deshaun Watson. But it's funny how it worked out now. Like, what would have happened if we had Deshaun Watson here? We were screwed anyway.
Nah, you'd have just had a bad year last year.
I know.
He's back.
You're right, because none of that stuff came out until after he wanted to leave. You're right.
You'd have had a bad year last year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think the interesting part though with Fields and that the coaches are impressed with him early, to me, is that they're impressed that he's getting the playbook this quickly. They're impressed that his footwork is as good as it is and his mechanics is as good as it is now. Those are the beginning stages. You got to understand, right? Like they're impressed that he's a basic football player right now. Mm-hmm. They're not impressed like he's dotting people up 60 yards down the field. They're impressed by the basic things. That tells you how far back he was truly set. Like they're impressed that Justin Fields' footwork has changed from what it was last year to this year. They're impressed by his position where he's holding the ball. They're impressed by him being able to move the ball downfield in OTAs when nobody's there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's the unquestioned starter. So now he has all the reps all the time. There's no excuse. There's no lack of preparation. Like you get to come in from the beginning of the year. So this isn't from after you get drafted and later. Like you had all year You had a year of experience to see what the speed is like. So we should definitely. So like I was encouraged against like the Pittsburgh game last year. That was when we hosted the show at the event, and it was like he was starting to catch it. It was like, and we got robbed from a bad call or two with the Pittsburgh game.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
that was all game. We were like, hey, what are y'all calling here?
I think he has the moxie to do it, but yeah, like even from where that atrocity was from the Cleveland game to the Pittsburgh game, it was like, it was topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
But I think now, I mean, hopefully he learned from that rookie year. He has a chance. I mean, they're saying all the things you're supposed to say. Send some type of hope, because the national media is trashing us anyways, right? They're sitting there saying, one person ranked us to actually go somewhere. Was it Nick?
Right. Hey, that's the part that had me the most nervous. I was like, the one guy that I would say I don't want to pick us to go somewhere definitely just picked us to go pretty far. Not only to go to make the playoffs, but also to go 10-7.
Yeah. I think, I really do think that we will look more like the 49ers on offense, and we're going to see tight end play, and we're going to see.
Which I'm okay with, right? Because I think I know the numbers don't show it. But just watching them play football, I think that Justin Fields is better suited for that style of offense than Jimmy Garoppolo is, right? Because that style of offense, there's a lot of like, hey, I have to be able to get this pass here accurately,
right,
quickly.
He's a better athlete,
can do that.
Yeah,
Jimmy Garoppolo, it kind of comes down to like, all right, Jimmy, like you gotta make this move, and you didn't make it in time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Jimmy's like, not to say he's not suited for it, like he's had success in it, but I think we've seen like Jimmy kind of fits in the role of the game manager quarterback.
Right.
And you really don't want that in a West Coast style offense, unless it's like Alex Smith. Alex Smith is like the bottom that you want.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. He's not, I think from a skill set of like passing, he's got the athleticism that's under Lamar Jackson, but I think he has a better passing grade than Lamar Jackson. I don't know if he's really, hopefully he's not a game manager like Jimmy G or Alex Smith. Alex Smith was the number one pick, when he came out of college, and he ran his
good career for him. Like, I ain't mad at him.
Well, he has like that basic career of like, just do your job, go home, but he no more, no less, I hope, but the point is that I think that's kind of what we're going to see from Fields this year, because he has to take the next step of learning offense. There's no way he's going to master this offense just like that in year one, but he's going to probably, if they're creative enough, which is all we've ever wanted, which is what we got hoodwinked when we had Nagy, was that we saw some sense of creativity, and hoodwink,
bamboozle. Let us
stray. we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. I want, hopefully, I feel like this administration feels like, I'm not too high on the administration, but I'm not low neither. I just think that it's like they might have a methodical plan. They got a young guy in here who's making some moves. Everybody wants the overreaction of stuff. It's like, let me do what I got to do.
Yeah.
This is my plan. I got my assistant GM in here, something we never had before. So I'm building my squad. I'm building my team from the top down.
Yeah.
We got a young guy. I'm not going to sit there and go crazy on him, but we're going to put him in a position to succeed. And if he doesn't, then we can cut the strings and make our plans for the next quarterback. But I do think that we got the right type of offense that fits his skill set. And I think that we're going to see, for fantasy purposes, man, I'm looking at both them running backs for the Bears.
I do. Yeah, they're going to get some run. I would even almost take Blazing Game just because, down by the end zone, they're going to try to like punch him in there on some using that fullback position.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that I think we have to look at as well, talking about where this team is going to be successful as. Like we kind of touched on it a little bit here, but just talking about like how is Robert Quinn going to be here? If he's not, if Robert Quinn moves on, if he goes to uh 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 he just says, I don't see us being successful by the time my career is over. I want to go compete for a ring. Let me get that opportunity. Trade me. How successful do we expect this Bears defense to be?
I'm thinking we have a lot of holdovers from from the last few years. So to me, like I actually wanted to look at a depth chart and just see where we are. I meant to do that. Like one of these days we'll share a screen and break down position by position. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, the cover 2 defense, we have some good players on there already. We should probably be a top, I would say 10 to 12, coming out the gate. Now, if we end up getting a Pro Bowler out of Brisker, and we got a Pro Bowler out of Roquan hasn't even made the Pro Bowl. That's crazy.
He's not a Pro Bowler, but he's literally going to be one of the best linebackers in the NFL, and he's going to get 20 mil.
Yeah. Yeah. We're probably going to see him be a Pro Bowler this year, and maybe one of the cornerback. We'll see. Maybe Jalen Johnson finally has a. Well, I think he's been a good cornerback. It's interesting about when guys that get hurt or they come in with injuries and things of that nature. Like how, because that's the thing. He came in, he looked good, but certain times you can get hurt and you're still playing. But I'm interested to see what Jalen Johnson does. Let me look at our depth chart.
I think the interesting thing with the defense right now is that the defense, you're talking about the secondary, right? You're talking about the linebacking core. You're talking about the safeties. You feel good about those guys right now. But listen, there's a lot that does, like, why did that 2018 defense look so good? Because they were able to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Khalil Mack was like all world.
Yeah.
And practically it was mainly him because Leonard Floyd couldn't do nothing. He was like, whatever. But it was really Hicks. Hicks was the heart of that defense.
And that's the question. Like, do you have that guy on this team right now? Do you feel good about this defense if Robert Quinn does one out? Like, Robert Quinn was the one person that was able to get to the quarterback. There weren't a lot of guys. Listen, I love Khalil Mack. I love everything that he brought to this team. I love Akeem Hicks, but those guys weren't healthy enough to be there.
But he's here now until he's not. So for now, we have a record-setting defensive sack. Huh?
So crazy.
We got all-time Bears sack leader. Is he all-time Bears?
Yeah.
And NFL for the year?
No. He didn't lead because the Bears record was 18.
Oh,
I think the all-time sack, because he's got 18 and a half sacks. I think the all-time sack is
22 and a half, I think.
22 and a half by Watt, ain't it?
Right.
So, which is, jeez.
Steve Hicks, it's not necessarily that I have Jalen Johnson love. What it is that when you don't have the defensive line you don't have so much time to cover. And if the defensive line is not that great, it exposes your cornerback. It don't matter. There ain't that many Deion Sanders. It ain't not that many. Who's your boy?
Seconds. You get 4 seconds.
Yeah. So you can only do so much. I mean, even when we had Kyler, what's his name? What was it? Kyle Fuller? No, Kyle.
Oh, no. What am I talking about? TJ Watt set the record last year, didn't he?
Who?
TJ Watt set the record last year, didn't he?
Oh, for his all-time sacks?
A single season sack. I think TJ Watt set the record last year.
Yeah, either way. But the point is, like, he's good enough to do his job. And I think that as long as the defensive line, our questions right now is the defensive line good enough with this cover 2? So we have Quinn.
And it has to be. That's why I'm asking it, right? Because, like, if Robert Quinn does one out, your defensive line has to be. Cover 2 works to a point. Cover 2, Tampa 2, whatever you want. Whatever they're going to end up playing, right? It works to a certain point. It works to the point where it's going to make things tough and it's going to make the quarterback have to extend the play. But if your quarterback has time, they're going to be able to extend the play. The cover 2 works 4 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe.
You know what? you can tell the record just by looking at the quarterbacks we're going to play, because bad quarterbacks can't beat the cover 2. The good ones can. So we got probably a 50-50
quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, we got him twice.
Yeah, he's gonna beat us.
So he's probably gonna beat us, if not
There's
one.
There's no cover that is going to slow down Aaron Rodgers.
Right, it's either 2-0 or 1-1, but he's definitely beating us.
Yeah, he's gonna beat us. I hate that, bro. It's literally like there's no chance we beat them twice. It's literally they're either going 2-0 or 1-1.
I mean, we could if we're that dynamic and we beat them somehow. But
hey, the year that we had the best defense in, arguably one of the best defenses in NFL history, we beat them once.
Right. And so, like I said, if you look
and he beat us in the game where we probably should have beat him.
Well, a lot of that came down to coaching too. Like when you don't put your foot down and play not to lose, and I hate that kind of scary stuff. You keep your foot on the pedal, and you take it down their throats, man. Don't take your foot off their neck.
Excuse me. What was that?
What?
What you say there? You do what to their throat?
Keep your foot on the neck.
That's not what the first one was.
I forget what show I'm on sometimes. I gotta switch. Hey.
Oh, the chat's gonna remember that one.
Let's see. My point was, if you look at that schedule.
Oh, we can pull the schedule up here. I just had it up.
I'm looking at it.
Hold on, we got it right here.
There you go. There we go. Regular 49ers, no good quarterback. We'll beat them. Packers probably lose. Houston Texans,
no good quarterback, but an amazing defense, dog. Like
I'm just saying, if you technically look at the quarterback, the ones that are really good typically we typically did not do well against great quarterbacks with their cover 2.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Like any given Sunday, they can all, essentially we can win every game essentially, but
you got Niners. You're thinking Trey Lance and or injured Jimmy G. They're at a minimum, right? Like Jimmy G's hurt. You feel like they're going to start the season with Trey Lance.
So we could probably win that one. Rodgers we could probably. We're in Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Texans. Who's the quarterback for the Texans?
Davis Mills.
I don't know.
And Lovie Smith is the head coach.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lovie knows that. That's a toss up. The Giants. I don't think. Geez, these guys are changing so quick now. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The Giants quarterback.
David.
He's not that good. We're gonna beat him.
I can't think of his last name, dog. For some reason, because you here, all of a sudden I can't think of his last name.
Right, and I don't. It's like I do that. I be blanking out. Like I be moving. I'm like I see all of their faces and can't remember their names.
David, I know that's his name.
We're gonna beat him. Vikings. Well, I'm sorry, but Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback. We'll beat them.
Yeah, but they also kind of have the same game plan. Well, they had the same game plan. Brand new coach there, Daniel Jones.
David.
I said David.
I was like, yeah, it's Dave.
Daniel Jones. That's funny. That's funny. Literally, you messed us up, Joe.
Thank you.
Commanders is Carson Wentz.
We could beat him. Well, yeah, we could beat him.
Patriots. Chico.
I can never really pick against the Patriots because Bill Belichick is just that guy. We don't even know what their offense is going to look like because they lost Josh McDaniels. But
I know exactly what their offense is going to look like. Mac Jones being very just like, hey, just go through the motions, run the ball. Wait, throw the ball one time in the winter.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Dak is technically he's more manager than anything. So we could beat him.
I like Dak. Here's the thing on me with the Cowboys, though. You can beat that defense if you run the ball down their throats.
Yeah. Dolphins, Tua, he's still a crapshoot. So I think we could beat them. Lions.
Crapshoot. I think they put a lot of talent around him just to draft their next quarterback. Lions is Jared Goff.
Yeah, we could beat him. The Falcons. Who's there now? We could beat him.
Or what's his name? Calvin Ritter, which is a rookie they drafted. So Jets is Zach Wilson, but I think Zach Wilson is going to take a step this season as well. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jets fans, if there's any in here. Also, I'm sorry. I'm kind of high on the Jets coming in this season. I feel like the Jets got some talent on this team, and I think that Zach Wilson has the opportunity to take a step.
We'll see.
Packers again at home, December 4th.
That's a toss up. I can't.
Desmond.
To me, I'd love to see how this
Calvin Ridley. I was thinking Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, you said Calvin. Yeah, I didn't even. That's cool. I got you back.
Eagles is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, like we could beat him. Now Josh Allen is a problem because he's a dynamo. Like he can run, pass. Like
Von Miller's on that defensive line over there. We just chalk it up now. It's okay. Lions again and Vikings again. So I mean, listen,
a favorable schedule.
It's a very favorable schedule. It's a very favorable schedule. I've said this multiple times, right? Like the Bears, I don't expect the Bears to win 12 games this season, but I can see why people could say that, right? And it's based on the quarterback play. We've literally just gone through all of the quarterbacks: Davis Mills, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Mac Jones, Dak Prescott, Tua, Marcus Mariota. These aren't like
we're no killers.
Quarterbacks that strike fear in your heart. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is the only Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen.
Right. We don't have no
two quarterbacks that strike fear in my heart.
Right. There's no Tom Brady. Breeze retired. There's no because I remember
he might be back.
I remember seeing Peyton Manning just come in and carve us up. I remember like all the good quarterbacks that came. Oh geez, I might have PTSD. But this year
we are over on Locked On Bulls. Why don't we check out the latest episode? No, we'd be on Locked On Bulls. We'd be talking about the good times, and then we'd just be like, "Hey, man, you remember Marcus Teague? remember, fam? I told Hayes yesterday. I said, "Hey, man, we drafted Paul Zipser. We drafted a dude with the last name Zipser." We drafted him close to where we drafted Io. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all sleeping on Dak. Shout out to Fliss. Says y'all sleeping on Dak. I'm a Bears fan, yes, but Dak isn't bad. Y'all, I'm not saying that Dak is bad.
What does that mean? What does that mean? We're look at the facts. It's not like I like him as a person. I think he's a comparable guy, but.
Well, I think Dak is a good quarterback. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that they try to force feed you Ezekiel Elliott, and I think that's the flaw in their offense. The Cowboys defense to me is the question mark because in those last 3 to 4 games of the season, the Cowboys gave up 140 plus rushing yards on the field.
Right.
They're beatable. There's a reason they didn't get past the first game of the playoffs. They're beatable when you run the ball at them.
Did they win a division? I don't think they won a division last year, did they?
They won a division. They're just in a.
Wasn't it like trash? It was like almost a half losing record. They won. They barely won a division.
Yeah, they won a division, but it's a
barely
division.
No, my point is I can't sit there and be like, "Oh, Dak is why y'all tripping on Dak?" When it's like they barely could get through the year. He hasn't never really. He has had his moments.
Cowboys were 12-5 last year. Eagles were 9-8.
Okay, then I'm remembering the year before that. So,
year before that, it actually was close. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the year before that was like whatever. Yeah, they were like. So I got my years off.
Year before that, Commanders were 7-9, Giants were 6-10, Cowboys were 6-10. But remember, Dak was hurt.
Right.
They had our quarterback last year.
I think that I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying that these teams are beatable. No one's a juggernaut that's like on our schedule outside of the freaking that bad man up there in Green Bay.
Now, here's the thing as well, right? Like it's not like you're seeing through. I have us winning 8 games. I got the Bears finishing 8-9. It's not like I'm seeing through the rose-colored glasses. I can see a path to the Bears being 10-7, 11-6 because our schedule is terrible. But I also need to see if they can play. Listen, they can have all the faith in the world in Justin Fields. That doesn't mean that Justin Fields is going to go out there and perform the way we think he is. Listen, I was high on Mitch coming into the season. I got a video, probably 2019 saying when we draft 2018, probably 2020 saying could Mitch be the white Cam Newton?
We drafted.
I was very less tactful with my titles back then as well. Yeah. Could Mitch be the white Cam Newton? Yeah, I'm saying like I really was like, nah, dog. Like I don't need him to be super accurate. I just need him to make plays down the field. But It's about performing on the field. I don't believe that Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback either, but you know what I can't deny? That Kirk Cousins, at a minimum,
knows how to cash a check.
knows knows at a minimum, when I do this for like 20 to 22 plays, we win.
No, he doesn't get nothing done, dude. Since he's been there, they've been very average. My point is, these are all beatable teams.
Yeah.
This year is they might actually be able to do more because of the schedule. If they run, they can do what Baltimore did. No one expected Baltimore with Lamar Jackson to do what they did, where they made a very strong run. He was an MVP candidate, things of that nature. They tailored a system around his strengths, and that's what we're seeing here with Justin Fields. It's like,
that's how I feel.
Play to win now.
Doesn't this how they built this team? We haven't had you on the show in a minute, so I get to bounce all these same points that I've said to the chat to you. Doesn't it feel like the Bears are in a position like how the Patriots have built their team? Where there's a lot of players on here where you're like, yeah, they signed this. That's not a big signing. Yeah, they signed this. That's not a big signing. Yeah, they signed this. That's not a big signing. But then you see him and it's like, what did he do well? Well, he was an excellent third down back. Or he was an excellent defensive tackle stopping the third down rush. Or he was great at literally just slowing down tight ends on the field. That's how they built this team to me. That's how it feels to me anyway.
Well, the thing is that Pace did a decent job, especially in the later rounds, of getting talent. He sucked in his first rounds. He was very hit and miss. So this guy comes in and takes over a team he took over a playoff team. They went to the playoffs. They didn't deserve to go. But, it's not the team that Pace inherited, where he was locked in with I think Cutler had signed his second year of that 6-year ridiculous contract. Yeah. So he was stuck. He couldn't do nothing with that. So this guy has a better body of work to work with. He's inherited a sack leader. He still had a piece that he was able to flip. He was able to flip an agent Khalil Mack to get at least a couple draft picks out of him. Before it was like he squeezed whatever he could get out of him. So they just needed offensive line help. He's got a rookie quarterback that has ability and talent. So to me, if he's methodical and he seems to be an intelligent guy, I'm encouraged. I mean, he wants to win the North. He's kind of monotone with it, like, we're going to take back the North.
I think he's just a monotone dude, dog. Because even when they were like, so you could have picked a better head coach. What was your process on that? He was like, I went through my process.
Right. Yeah. He said, look, I know
if I get to roasting y'all.
I know that we can, if I get the right. The thing is like, we all mainly clamor for an offensive minded coach to develop this quarterback. But history has shown, typically, you got to have a good balanced team to win a Super Bowl. It's never really just one-sided. I mean, the only time it was one-sided was like the Baltimore Ravens with Jamal Lewis, and that dude ran for 50 million yards, and they had one of the greatest defenses ever to propel them. And they still did a quarterback play. They still had a Hall of Famer in Shannon Sharp. They had Trent Dilfer, to be able to still win.
I love that we're at the point where people don't realize how good of a football player Shannon Sharp was. Like that they didn't get to see Shannon. So I love that we're at that point when it's like, I've had so many people just be like, man, Shannon don't know what he be talking about. And I'd be like, I need y'all to go really understand.
Shannon was a problem. His brother.
Shannon was.
But no, we don't even know how cold his brother was. I was like, holy crap. When he said that Hall of Fame speech, he's like, I'm not even the best player in my house. But anyways, I just think that he's smart enough to say, I know what a successful team looks like. You got to have the defense. He came from Kansas City. For all how great Patrick Mahomes is, they had a good defense.
Yeah.
They had a good offensive line. No. They had Eric Fisher. No, they got old quick and they got hurt. So they had to end up making those changes.
That defense was kind of just the honey badger.
The defense was a good I didn't say it was a great defense. It was a good defense. Look at the numbers. See if they were at least top 10 or top. You got to have at least top 10, top 15
You got to be at a minimum top 10 defense.
At least a top 10 defense.
Top 12 defense, probably like 15. I don't know if you get
No. You know what, dude? I got it. No, I got it. Seattle. We're going to be just
Seattle
like
had one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Best defense in the NFL, and they had a crazy running game with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, beast mode in that moment.
Beast mode was a problem. So you can win with a stable quarterback, decent quarterback play, great running, strong defense. That's how we got to the Super Bowl.
You can win. Yeah, man. You know what's crazy? Have you ever gone back? Well, you watched it live, but like, have you ever gone back and watched? Because we really don't know how old you are. You could be 40. You could be 37. could be 102. Yeah, he's a vampire. When you watch Jim McMahon was actually a really good quarterback. You just like as he started to get better. Literally, the game where like he gets slammed on his head by Buddy from the Packers, he was playing really well.
But you know what it was? Because Ditka was so narrow-minded of a coach from
he didn't want to pass the ball.
No. Well, you think about it. All McMahon did was audible out of dumb calls. He's like, why? That's all. He was like, I'm not going to get killed. You know, this guy came over to cover this guy because they think we're going to run it. I'm going to audible. And half the time, because it's like give Walter Payton the ball, give Fridge the ball. It's like, we got this world track star over here, Willie Gault. He can he's running a 4.3.
It was this is the thing though too. It was also 80s and 90s football, bro. You go back and watch them old football teams, bro. Dog, they wasn't running no plays, bro. it was based none of them. Hey, what was Willie Gault's best trait? Run.
Well, the point is like right, and that's why the 49ers, they were the ones that actually brought in that West Coast offense, right? They're running the tables.
Last time you were here, somebody literally showed up in the chat, was like, y'all talking about Jerry Rice right now? Like, we can't do this again. We cannot do this again.
Well, regardless of even for the 85 Bears that got to the Super Bowl, they were the number one running team with the number one defense.
Yeah.
Like when we got to the Bears, when we went in 05, we had 06, we had two good running backs with one of the top defenses, average quarterback play. We can win the Super Bowl if we're going to run heavy with this cover 2 defense. We've seen this type of defense before. This isn't it's like basically we're going back to what we had before. We have the
you know what though? I will say this though. We're to a point now in how sports is played where a defense is needed, a really good defense is needed, but you also have to have the offense on the other side. Like I see some people that kind of are holding on to that old school mentality of like, oh, if we just stop them and keep them from scoring 24 points, we'll be able to win.
Yeah, but it's still balanced.
But nobody's doing that.
I still said a balance.
Right? Like we watched the Bills last season. They were the best defense in the NFL. That game ended in the championship game, 45-44?
Right.
Like it was literally the best defense in the NFL, and they still got 45 points.
Yeah. Well, they took stuff off. They made those changes. But either way, it's still a balance. You got a number one top defense, and on the offensive side, you either got to be great at passing or great at running. And we've seen that running with some quarterback play, like the way that this offense is now, it's still predicated on running. It's just that they do dump offs and chips. It's just now instead of you having to do 30, 40-yard, 50-yard bombs, which is what we want to see, it's the 4-yard dump off hitch. It's the wheel routes. It's all these little things that can you methodically read the defense and hit your spots with this West Coast offense. So it's still a running offense, but it's pass predicated, but it's really running.
Yeah, no, and here's the weird thing. I think that's what Matt Nagy, his idea was, but it did not get executed that way.
No, I don't know what his idea was.
That's what it was. He was like, well, we've got ways where we try to like dump it off and we try to throw things out there and we try to be like, but you don't do that. Like, nah, like you're not even doing screen passes this year. He got so dumb, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. If y'all in here, man, watching, we got 107 in here right now. Just from Joel showing up, everybody pulled up on a Friday, man. Shout out to the super producer in this month, man. Hey, I need y'all to do me a favor and go ahead and
push the button. Come on, push the button.
Push the
Come
button.
on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Here's another interesting thing we want to get to before we kind of flip the hour here. But it's a topic that ESPN had, and I feel like me and you both kind of don't believe in it. But like, to me, right, this is what tells me that analytics have their place, but you cannot just go down the rabbit hole with them. Now watch, I'll say this and it will actually come true. But according to ESPN's PFI, the Chicago Bears have the best chance for the first round. I'm sorry, FPI. I had that backwards. I was going PFF on that. Football Power Index. The Chicago Bears have the best chance for the first pick in the draft and to be the worst team in the NFL.
Dude, that doesn't mean anything.
Right now, as it sits, they have Buffalo as the best. Green Bay will be the second best team. The Rams will be the third best. KC fourth. Tampa Bay fifth.
Dude, we don't.
The Bears will be below the Jets, Houston, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Seattle, who just lost their starting quarterback.
I can't, honestly, I can't. Normally, I mean, I'm a realist. I really am. Like, it's not that I just necessarily drink the Kool-Aid. Like, we've been watching this stuff a long time.
Yeah.
I've always felt that last year was a bad job of coaching.
Yeah.
Period. We have the talent. It wasn't a Super Bowl contender, but at least a playoff contender. So to me, the defense that you put in there, the other problem is we had Vic Fangio's defense. That's also the other problem, right? He ran that defense. He left, goes to Denver.
Did Vic retire?
I think he's chilling. He's taking a year off or something. Like he's catching he's chilling. So now you're like, every time you bring in someone that's like a disciple of the defense, they typically, we brought in Pagano, man, and then we got the other guy, the young guy that came and took over Desai. It's like you're not getting a person that actually implemented and is running this defense. So they've been trying to fix the coaching, in my opinion, has always been the problem.
I agree. And I think that's the part where the analytics can't take it into account, right? Like I keep saying this, the Chicago Bears were coached by a NFL head coach that legitimately is one of the worst in NFL history. His offense has put up less points than the Chicago Bears in the 60s. His offense has put up less points than a Bears team that at that time, the quarterback was a new concept.
That's terrible. that's bad.
Just by removing that,
right,
you get better.
Yeah.
Whether the talent is better, whether the players are better. Literally, if we came back with the same team as last season, which kind of we did, we added small pieces. But if we came back with the exact same offense, exact same defense as last season, I would bet we win 2 more games.
I think so. I think that aberration in Cleveland, for example, if you coached better, simply like, how about we double team the all-world defensive end?
I will say this, that game might not have gone different.
No. The way they coach, you can scheme out of that type of stuff. You can they didn't do it. Let's let the all-pro, all-world 285-pound muscle neck dude just roam free.
The 25-year-old
yeah,
going up against the 41.
Yeah, like come on, like we'll put him out there. Yeah, he can gobble him up. They didn't do anything for this guy. No,
I agree. I don't think that. I think the Bears will have 8 wins this season. I do. I feel like that's kind of the safe bet. That's where I sit at with it, right? Because I feel like there is going to be changing to a 3-4 from a 3-4 to a 4-3 is not a small feat. I think changing the opposite way is probably a little easier, changing from 4-3 to 3-4, which is what we saw them do when Vic Fangio got in there. I think that was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But changing back to a 4-3, like you have to add a ton more personnel to your team to run a 4-3 defense. And the Bears are coming in a year where they don't have money, they didn't have picks, and they're kind of just trying to piecemeal this thing together. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for the defense to get set. I think offensively, yeah, it's going to be more simple. You're going to see more David Montgomery, but it's going to take a little bit of time for Justin Fields to get used to his weapons as well, right? So for me, those two things, I don't see the Bears going off and winning 12 games this year. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. But the other thing is, right, like I don't see Houston playing great either. I don't see Atlanta playing great either. Atlanta's big addition this year was re-signing Cordero Patterson. By the way, Calvin Ridley can't play.
He's suspended for
He's
what,
suspended.
$1,500 in gambling.
That's a heck of a loss right there. Like the Giants are going through the same thing. Here's the thing, right? This is my issue with the national media right now, with the ESPNs, with the big 4-letter networks, all the mugs, Fox. It's become trendy to pick on the Bears, but you're not giving me a reason why what the Bears are going through is different than what other teams are going through that were worse than us last year. What about what the Bears are going through this season is different than what the Giants are going through? Yeah. Giants still, and listen, I think everybody feels like Justin Fields can play football. Nobody feels like the Giants can play football. Nobody, you think Saquon Barkley can play? Well, nobody feels like that team is vastly improved. I feel like they did a good job in the first round of the draft this year.
I think it's going to be like Baltimore. No one expected Baltimore to do what they did, and they switched it up. Like next thing you know, these guys are winning games based off of the offense they designed around Lamar Jackson. And I'm not. I don't want to be a homer neither. Like I've been there, like, okay, I'm always positive. Like I'm not a negative person, but it's like I expect, like looking at this team, I have more hope than I did from the previous years of like, we don't have the players. Like we have players, So
I don't know if I don't know how they got to show me, right? Like I'm not going to say that we've got the worst talent of an NFL roster in the NFL, but I will say like, there's some players on this team that are long shots. Byron Pringle's a long shot, right? Like you're taking a chance on a guy that didn't have a name in Kansas City, granted, because there were a ton of weapons, and now you're trying to get him here to where, hopefully he can prove to you that no, what I did in Kansas City on short stints, I can do long term. You're doing the same thing with Dante Pettis, who wasn't able to stay healthy. You're doing the same thing with. Honestly, with Velus Jones, bringing him in as a 25-year-old rookie, like there's a lot of those like long shot pieces on this team, but I don't think that our weaponry is the worst in the NFL, and I don't think that our coaching staff is the dumbest in the NFL.
I personally think that like our receiving core, I don't necessarily have high hopes, high expectations for them. I just think that based off the schemes that we've seen over the last few years and the pieces that we know what works, there's potential that it could work. I still am on the fence with Cole Kmet, but he could be that in that player. He would be a guy that fits that system. In this type of system, those two running backs have the potential to do that. The receivers, there is no like, I don't see us having, is the rookie guy going to be somebody? I don't know.
Here's the thing that I think people aren't taking into account. And this is like, I think there's a disrespect there. And I get like, I just need Byron Pringle to be decent. I think Byron Pringle can be decent. I just need Velus Jones to be decent. I think Velus Jones can be decent. I think that we're going to look at that pick in a few years and nobody's going to say, oh, he was picked in the second round. I think people are going to say like, well, I'm glad we picked him, but maybe it was still a little bit high, but I'm glad we got him now, right? Like,
yeah.
But people need to understand Darnell Mooney had over 1,000 yards last season with three different quarterbacks, three different schemes in place, with a head coach that had no idea how he was going to put the ball into Darnell Mooney's hands, and he still had over 1,000 yards last season. Why don't we think that Darnell Mooney's going to get better?
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney was the number. Like everybody's like, Darnell Mooney can't be a number one. He was the number one last year. Allen Robinson got the ball 66 times thrown to him.
Well, it's more about how they're going to use this scheme in general. So it's all about coaching and putting the players in the right position. That's all it is. Yeah. We know that we have speed. That's what we got on offense. That's for sure. We know we have that.
Last year. We just didn't use it.
Right. We have speed. We have some players. I'm not foolish enough to say we got an all-world beating team like that. Yeah. But I think we have a playoff contender, not a championship contender.
Yeah.
And so if we coach it right, I'm very interested to see how this coach, how he coaches these games. Like I just hope that he's aggressive, or at least he's methodical. I just hope he's not some pushover dude and does the whole play not to lose type. Like, I just don't give me another play not to lose type. I want someone that's coming in there. He's mad that we're down. We're coming out of the second half or something. Like, you know what I hate hearing? The Bears didn't score in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying about Matt Nagy, bro. Matt Nagy legitimately went years, not year. Y'all hear the S? Without scoring in the first half of football games.
Bruh, we can't do that. Will we have a coach?
He went years without scoring in the third quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're going to get better based on the fact that he's not here.
Yeah, coaching. That's
I give it 2 games. That's why I got the Bears today. I give the Bears 2 games off top the day they fired Matt Nagy. Legitimately.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I just think that I've been very consistent even from last year. It's like it's a coaching thing. It's not necessarily the players. And to me, it just proves it. I mean, even with the Trubisky thing, I hate that we keep bringing it up. Like we finally got a quarterback that was serviceable, decent. He actually went to the Pro Bowl.
I'm glad.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm glad Nagy showed up with that. Come on now. Like,
but now we got another one.
Baker Mayfield situation right now.
Yeah, but now we got another quarterback. Like, let's not. We finally got some talent. We've all seen it, but I know I've definitely seen the years and years and years of average basic quarterbacks that we've drafted. I mean, I remember Rex Grossman and actually feeling like, yo, Rex Grossman teased us that. No, because you know what it was? One, he was drafted, I think, 8th. He came out of Florida, right?
He was a dog. I will say this, like, Rex Grossman is the one that tells me, Rex Grossman and Tim Tebow, the 2 quarterbacks, they're both from Florida too, that showed me that how big of a leap college is to the NFL. Because Rex Grossman was a dog at Florida.
Yeah, they were killing. And he had a very pretty deep ball, like Bernard Berry and all them dudes. Like, I remember that. But you know, he was too short and he couldn't see. But it was like, I just remember he got hurt the first year and he teased some greatness. He got hurt like 2 years in a row because he fell in the preseason, I think, against the Rams and hurt his wrist and dislocated it. It had come back. And then finally that Super Bowl year was like nobody seen that he could really do his thing, right? And he's in NFC Player of the Month. And then they figured him out.
He's so trash, bro.
So like
I told Kid, hey, Kid finally when he watched it, he said, I thought you would be exaggerating. Bro, in that Arizona game where he drops back, he don't even look to see where his receivers are. He just turns around off the back foot, launches that mug up, and it goes into 4 different Cardinals' hands.
Because they schemed for him. Now, you know, but I bring that up because the thing about Justin Fields, I bet you we see lightning in the bottle for about 4 games because they don't have any tape on this guy. And once they figure out, like after week 5, week 6, I bet you we see him passing a lot more and they start running a lot more towards the middle of the year. If they're smart, I wouldn't be surprised to see everybody go, oh my God, Justin Fields, you know. Like, I guarantee you about 4 or 5 games he's going to be on fire, and then we're going to see the defensive coordinators get enough tape on this guy.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly when it's going to happen.
By the Patriots.
The month of November.
Yeah.
The month of November, the Chicago Bears are going to, and I'm going to be the one on here that everybody's going to be looking at, and they're going to be like, Pat, you're not a real Bears fan. You don't like they're winning. They won. I think the Bears are going to win 4 games in a row. I picked the Bears to win 4 games in a row.
Hey, Northside, so stupid.
What'd
My
he
ex
say?
had a crush. He said my ex had a crush on Sexy Rexy. He be doing a press conference. She's so cute. Had to dump her because I prefer a smart woman.
Shout out to Northside.
That's that Dave Chappelle.
Hey, you made the right decision. No, that's a wild.
That's that Dave Chappelle. She was
divorced his wife of 70 years.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I literally think from November, the Bears will not lose a game from November 6th to November 27th. The Dolphins, Lions, Falcons, Jets.
Stop hating Pat Riley. He hating over there. Go ahead. Anyways, yeah, I think, I just think that we'll see something, and we're going to hopefully.
I mean, if you think 7 touchdowns is tape,
that's not tape. They got a new offense. We don't know what this new offense is.
Right. It's an entirely new scheme. Like, there's no tape on anybody. Guess what? Mitch looked good that first year of the offense until somebody said, hey, let's put a spy on him.
Yeah. Once we spied him, right. And that got him in trouble because now you had to adjust. So we'll see how this.
He couldn't take off.
How does Justin Fields adjust? Well, I'm excited to see what he can do. I think that I'm optimistic that they're going to put him in position to succeed, and hopefully he can do that. I love the pandering and the propaganda. He's sitting there with his iPad studying his. Every player is supposed to do that.
Hey, listen. I'll say this. So he's not Jamarcus Russell. All right, we doing good.
Yeah, you heard that story? That is hilarious.
All right, so he's not Jamarcus Russell. We're doing good. Like, all right, he's looking at tape. Like,
somebody block P Kid, take him out.
He said Lions are much better. At what?
I don't know.
It can't be at football.
Yeah,
there's no. The Lions are going to surprise them.
That's okay. Why digress?
What Walker say? Okay. Like, hey, I'm sorry. Is Jared Goff still their quarterback?
Right.
Did I miss something, bro? Like, the Lions are gonna be. Oh man, kid, we miss you, dog. Oh, terrible football tape.
So, wait, Brian Poles continues to work on his plan promoting any new scouts.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I want to get into that as well. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, listening to the show. If you're still in here, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page.
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
We appreciate y'all for showing love to the channel, man. We still got a lot of content coming your way. Gonna get into the ECF. Gonna get into tonight's game of Golden State versus Dallas. Is there going to be a comeback in that? But first, we got to get into a little bit more things around Chicago here. We've even got some updates on Zach Levine and how people feel like they're going to be it might not be a slam dunk that Levine's coming back. A little shift in the schedule there. But hey, we do want to talk about this as well. Like, I feel like Ryan Poles came here. What do they always say, right? When for everybody that's in construction, for anybody that's just in the work field, they tell you to plan your work and work your plan.
Right.
Ryan Poles has planned his work and continues to work his plan. He promotes a couple of scouts yesterday, but there are a couple of scouts that, in him promoting them, he's getting what he wants to see implemented into what the Bears are doing moving forward. And he's doing this quickly. He's not taking time with it. We've seen kind of how he wants to work. We've seen kind of how he's really set his plan in place and followed it to the T. I love that we're getting to the point here where I said Ryan Pace, didn't I? Ryan Poles. I love that we're getting to the point here where Ryan Poles is shaping this front office in his image immediately. And he just continues to work his plan. that to me shows that there's at least some competency
Right.
in this front office. And I think it's competency that we didn't see, right? And a backbone in this front office.
Yeah.
All of the sudden. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, the I will say this. We do keep going back to Mitch today. I don't know why. But the most spineless, like, I'm scared move that the Bears made while Ryan Pace was here was drafting Mitch because you were too scared to talk to your head coach about it.
Yeah.
Because he wanted Deshaun Watson, which would have worked out. Bears do end up promoting former area scout Breck Ackley. He's been promoted to assistant director of college scouting. Former pro scout Chris White has been promoted to assistant director of pro scouting, while national scout Sam Somerville and Francis St. Paul have been elevated to senior national scouts. Here's the thing that I like about this, right? When you look at what Ackley did here with the Bears, he's the guy that went out and got Gibson. He's the guy that went out and got Mooney. He's the guy that went out and got Jordan Mills.
Yeah, like
Cody Whitehead.
that's what I want to see. Like, what do these guys do? I could care less who's promoted, but like I want to see their work. Like, who was in charge? Who are your picks? What did you do? You know, yeah.
But you know what? That's what I mean about it, though. Like, we're promoting success, and I'll be honest with you on this one, right? Like, the Bears getting Ryan Kavanaugh is huge. If you don't know who some of the guys that Ryan Kavanaugh picked, 2010 Sherrick McManus, 2011 J.J. Watt, 2012 Whitney Merciless, 2016 Will Fuller and Nick Martin, 2019 Max Sharp.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me, because remember who I wanted? I wanted Rick Smith. That's who I wanted. That was the GM for
that was the GM you wanted. Yeah.
That's the guy I wanted. So if he's the brains behind that,
yeah. It's
you know what? Where's my GM? Where's my hat? Where my tape?
you don't got the tape on it.
I gotta find.
It's not just about, right? Like, there's a lot of things that we can put on Pace. There's a lot of things that we can put on, and mostly on Pace because he just didn't go do it, didn't work with the team at sometimes. But Ryan Poles isn't trying to be a dictator. Ryan Poles isn't trying to be this is all on me. Ryan Poles is like, no, I need help. This is an NFL franchise.
So what it is, okay, two things. There's a pedigree, right? He came from basically a winning franchise, right? He's seen success. And the thing about leadership is that when it gets down to it, it's all about how you delegate, recognize talent, and encourage. Like, I've been fortunate to be put in that role where, you know, secularly, where it's like, you don't necessarily have to do the work. I have to have the knowledge of what I want. This is my plan, because I'm actually living that. Like, I have to update all of our IT, for example. I need to make sure, like, I'm picking the right contracts, the right vendors. I have to have my team do what they need to do. And that way, it's not that I got to stress myself out of actually doing everything hands-on, but it's also the fact of, can you identify the talent to do the jobs that they have to do? It's not about micromanaging. So he might have seen that coming from Kansas City. He's putting the right people and identifying the right talent to keep them. And it starts from the top down, you know? So if like Ryan Pace, to me, he came from the Saints, where I think they were successful to a degree, but it felt like, you know, they really got fortunate. They signed Drew Brees because the Dolphins didn't sign Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Right. He had the shoulder issue. Then they get Sean, what's the name in there? Peyton. And, you know, now they did some good things. I'm not going to necessarily take them down a notch, but to me, Kansas City has shown sustained competency for how many years now? The Saints have been very, like, you know, up and down. They have not been able to, you know, they can't replace Breeze. They've been up and down. They had some issues with the defensive coordinator, with the, you know, Peyton, wasn't Peyton suspended? Like, they've had some issues going on over there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know if Mickey Loomis, how they run their show over there, but he might have come from, like, everybody wants to emulate the Patriots thing. So clearly Bill Belichick is probably just the greatest mind of all time. But it looks like, at least for Kansas City, there has been sustained excellence to a degree where he's learned from that. And I'm hoping that this guy, he has had a chance to learn that. Ryan Pace, to me, was forced to do things he didn't necessarily want to do. He also had to inherit bad contracts. And I think the biggest thing why Poles is able to do what he's doing is because Ted Phillips is now out of that realm of football decisions. He gets to get all the credit for that new stadium that they're about to build.
Now, you know what? I think he just set the boundaries. He
Yeah,
came
but
in, he literally came in, got off the plane, and said, if I'm not allowed to pick my own people, I'll get back on the plane.
Right. But the point is, like, who did that? George or Ted? George
made the call on it. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's also about, like, Ryan Pace was just happy to get the job.
Right.
Like, Ryan Poles was confident that he would get another look. I think that, like, there's a lot of confidence. There's a lot that goes into it where it's is he going to be able to get another opportunity to be a GM? There's a lot of that around the NFL. And granted, I get it. These jobs don't grow on trees every day, but it feels like Ryan Pace was never confident in his GM role. Ryan Poles is like, no, I'm gonna get another shot.
Yeah,
he came to Chicago like, I would love to have the job. If I can't make my decisions, I'm gonna get back on the plane.
I can relate to that, where you want to be in a position where it's like, what's your budget? What can I do? Because you've been doing something for a long time, and it's like, I don't want to come here if I got to do the same thing. I'd rather not, even with the headache. Just because it's the job doesn't make it an empty job. If I can't do what I have to do and I have to listen to this guy, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I want to be able to make my decisions and have put my identity on this team, because it ultimately falls on me anyways.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, I'm encouraged, because it's different from the Ryan Pace situation. That Ryan got us there to a degree. You know, we got a flash in the pan. We made the playoffs, 12-4. And I liked some of his moves. I like that he went all in to get Khalil Mack. Like, you suppose he went all in. You did that. I hate that you busted out on Kevin White. I hated that you busted out on some of the first round picks. But Poles, to me, him getting old boy from the Texans.
Right.
I like
that's
huge. But if he's able to identify the talent and delegate, and he has a plan of what we're going to build, we might have something here. Everybody, like, I wouldn't even be worried about this year. It's setting up for next year, because how much money in the cap will we have next year? Isn't it like a crazy amount of money?
I believe 125 to 150, something like that. We got a lot of money next year. We got a lot of money. We got a lot of picks. We got a lot of money last year. Next year.
Yeah, he did bust out on Mahomes. Yes, the North does remember that. But honestly, I wish people would stop saying that about Patrick Mahomes. Nobody was on him. Everybody was talking about Deshaun Watson. Yeah. It was all about Deshaun Watson.
Rightfully so.
He was the Michael Jordan of college football, is what his coach said. Right. Nobody was talking. I mean, Ryan.
And here's the wild part. He's not wrong. Like, I get, like, he ain't won a Super Bowl yet. It's much harder to do in the NFL. As you can see, Pat Mahomes has one, and he's been to two, but has not been able to get the second one. Yeah. It's just so many factors that go into it. But, bro, Deshaun Watson had a great rookie season. And if you, like, legitimately had tight ends playing offensive line for him, because they had so many injuries. Literally had tight ends playing offensive line. Like, Deshaun Watson might be the most talented quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson with no team after they traded what's my boy name? DeAndre Hopkins. Still had the most passing yards in the NFL.
That's crazy.
Hey, I just lost one of the best receivers in the NFL. Might as well break a record. What?
And it just hurts that you would have got him at 3 anyways. You would have got him at 3. And you had to make
got Deshaun at 3.
Yeah. You think they would?
You wouldn't have got Deshaun at 3. Deshaun
well, either way.
John Lynch had just took over and
he took over for the 49ers.
And for the 49ers, he'd have took Deshaun.
He took Solomon. They took Solomon. What's his name? No, Deshaun didn't. No, he didn't.
I said he would have taken Deshaun.
No, they didn't. Remember, they were sitting there. They picked Deshaun. Deshaun went like after. Didn't he go after? Was it? It was
No, Deshaun went.
Trubisky was 2. Deshaun was what? Like
49ers
11th.
Yeah,
they didn't take Deshaun because they still picked 3. They took Solomon Thomas, and then the Chiefs moved up to get Mahomes.
Where did he go?
They could have got him if they wanted. They didn't take him.
Deshaun went 12th overall.
Right. And then Mahomes went what, like 17 or something? Or
Deshaun went higher than that. That's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying. They would have got him at 3.
These games are terrible. Titans took Corey Davis. Fournette is good. No, y'all dumb. Jacksonville took Leonard Fournette. Y'all took a running back. Jets took Jamal Adams. That's actually not a bad pick, but he didn't end up sticking around. Chargers took Mike Williams. That's a good pick. Panthers took a running back, Christian McCaffrey. That's stupid. Bengals took John Ross. I don't even think we've seen much of John Ross.
He was supposed to be like really fast.
Chiefs took Mahomes. Saints took Lattimore. Stupid.
Yep, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Oh, dog. That's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy. Oh, my God. I can't. I'm glad I wasn't live streaming the draft that year. I'd have cried on TV. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do want to get to a little bit of NBA news on this side. We'll swap this out with Ain't No Way Boy. Actually, let's do Ain't No Way Boy real quick because I got a good story right here. And then we're going to get into some Chicago Bulls news, man. Had to bring this back on a Friday because I feel like we need a little fun on the show. You can't just talk sports straight through. So, ladies and gentlemen, bringing back the segment from the morning show.
And now, a segment of wild stories, crazy happenings, and just a few random things that'll make you say what? It's time for
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Ain't No Way Boy brought to you by nobody right now. We're working on that as well. Get in tune with us, man. If you want to sponsor this segment, shout out to you. Baseball fan catches raccoon in the stands. A University of Arkansas baseball fan became a viral hero when he used his bare hands to catch a raccoon that dashed through the stands in between innings. Grant Harmon, 24, of Fayetteville, was attending the Razorbacks game against Vanderbilt University when a raccoon caused chaos in the stands in between the 7th and 8th innings. Harmon was caught on camera catching the raccoon by the scruff of his neck and carrying it out of the stadium. He says, the opportunity just came about, and I guess I took action and grabbed it. He did say it was definitely a first for me. The raccoon did bite me on the hand one time, but it was definitely something I was roughly familiar with, seeing as how he hunts raccoons on the weekend.
Have you ever seen Peacemaker? Have you seen the Peacemaker show?
No.
There's a scene where Peacemaker, like, he's in the woods and he got attacked by some raccoons.
Bro. Here's my question to everybody in the chat. If a raccoon is running, why is your first instinct grab it? Like, I get that he hunts raccoons, but don't you usually shoot the raccoon before you grab it? Like,
that's gross. He turned a raccoon to chili. That's gross.
Shot Northside said he turned the raccoon into chili.
Gross.
That was my wacky story of the day. If you want to check out the video, check it out over on Twitter, man. Ain't no way, boy. There's no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. There's no way if a raccoon comes running towards me, my first instinct is going to be, let me snatch this smug up.
Yeah, I'm going to let it run by.
Here's the question, right? Is that an Arkansas specific activity? Hunting or catching raccoons?
They out there cooning.
I was gonna say, do we have to be a little leery that he catches coons? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we can say that on YouTube, but do we have to be a little bit leery about this man snatching raccoons? And here's the thing, right? Like, is he getting some play off of that? Like, is he the man at the stadium after that? Like, all the ladies are all over him. Like, I just love the way that you snatched up that raccoon like that. Is that an Arkansas thing, dog? Like,
that's too funny.
I just love the way that you
shout out to my
homie scruff of the neck.
Hey, shout out to my homie Streets Raccoon Killer.
Bro,
I need to find this and tag him on that.
Bro, that was my ain't no way boy story of the day. I couldn't believe when I saw the video on that. If y'all haven't seen the video, literally just go to Twitter, check it out over there, bro. It was all over there. I mean, he's got it, bro. He's like holding it up like it's a trophy, and the raccoon's like, I'm gonna take your hand off, dog. Like, get up off of me. Get up off of me. Like,
it's on some Tony Baker stuff.
It was. I need Tony Baker to do the voiceover on that now. Yeah, Tony, get on that, my boy. We gotta get Tony on the show, man. We do. Oh, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all for showing love to the channel, man. We're going to keep it pushing. We do want to get into a little bit of basketball because we do got some news on Zach Levine coming out. Per KC Johnson and his article over on NBC, it does not seem like a slam dunk that Zach Levine will return for the Chicago Bulls in free agency. Does this bring some concern, or does this feel like it's the beginning of free agency? It's his first real free agency. He's gonna meet with some teams, but he'll probably still be a Chicago Bull. Where are you sitting on it?
I'm not surprised. I think he's leaving.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of
because of LeVar Ball.
No, I think that I don't know if he's worth the 250 and to be a number 2 guy.
You're only paying him 210.
Only 210 million. Like, either way.
Listen,
it's to be locked in
the NBA getting 210.
I don't want the Bulls to be stuck in a position where we can't get the best talent at that type of price. I mean, what does that break down to? Is that 35, 40 million a year? Something
it'll
like that?
Probably finish out about 40 million a year right at the end of his contract.
Like, I just feel that I'm okay with, like, to me, this was supposed to be set up for Zach to be the guy. This ended up being that DeMar is the guy. And Zach is a very talented basketball player.
Well, you also got to look at why it's set up that way, right? Like, Zach Levine playing on 50% of a knee all season. We knew he had the knee injury, he had the thumb injury early on in the season. I don't feel like it was, hey, Zach Levine's not very good anymore. I felt like it was, we're watching Zach play hurt and play through injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, and either way, like this is a tactic just to make sure that the Bulls give him the 210.
Either way, do I want to sit there and have a player where I got to continually worry about that? And now we're tied because that's guaranteed money.
Would you want Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
You have to continually worry about his knee and his back.
Yeah, but my point is that that's not who we have right now. We have a guy who we're worried about his knee he's always had a knee issue, tell you the truth, because we got him. He came off the knee injury from 6-7 years ago. 6 years? How long has it been?
But this is literally the first issue he's had with the knee since the surgery.
I don't know if he's worth $40+ million of guaranteed money though. If we can get someone, I would rather. Honestly, I'd rather see Dame. I've seen some trade scenarios out there where you make a move and bring, say, Julius Randle over here. And now, because if you free up, I'm just saying, I've seen all these scenarios, but
that would be awful. Well, that would be an awful move.
I think, but what I think happens is that Lonzo now takes a greater role from the offensive side as a distributor.
You got to worry about me too.
I'm just, either way, it's still the fact of, do you want to be tied up. So you just want to pay him $40 million and just roll the dice with it?
I would absolutely pay Zach Levine because you're going to have to. Everybody you're rolling the dice with. You want to go get Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard's coming off an injury. He just missed an entire season. You want to go get Julius Randle. Julius Randle was out with injury 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the NBA now. There's a reason you'll never see anybody play 82 games again. You'll never see a player play 82 games again. That's worth his salt. That's a player that's worth playing.
I get you. Okay.
I'm not bothered by paying Zach Levine that kind of money. One, because that's the kind of money that number twos get, even if you feel like he's not a number one on your team and you think Patrick Williams or somebody has to develop into that. That is CJ McCollum money.
Yeah, I still don't feel that he is the guy, the leader that commands that type of starter money. You and I could disagree on it, but the fact is that if we have an option, clearly these players don't grow on trees, right? Everybody's unique. LeBron to KD to Dame to everybody's pretty unique. Steph, like they all do something that's special. And can we finally get a guy that is a special guy that's also has the mental fortitude to be that leader to command that type of money that we can sit there and have for some years? I just don't know if Zach is really that guy that has the high basketball IQ of being the guy in the squad. Like DeMar's only going to be here for so long. Was he maybe a year?
These are the same conversations that people were having about somebody that's leading this team in the Eastern Conference Finals right now.
I was mad we traded Jimmy.
These are the same conversations people have.
No, because Jimmy wasn't. No, the thing was that
these are the exact same. He can't be number one. You'll never get to a championship with Jimmy Butler. You can't build around a player that you can't get to a championship with. These are the same conversations Jimmy Butler was here.
But Jimmy has a high basketball IQ. He's a good defender. He's improved his game. Zach, to me, is like he's got the athletic ability. He could create a shot. But how many years are we going to hear about the potential of you doing something and being the guy that leads the team?
So we didn't see Zach Levine play well before this season. Like the one season we're basing it off of is the season where he fought through because he wanted to help his team get to the playoffs. So he played on a knee that was at 50% on a good day. That's one season we're basing this off of, not the season where he was a 49, 39, 90 shooting guard in the NBA averaging 26 points a game the season before.
So you feel that Zach will be the guy that leads you to the promised land?
I feel like you don't get better by getting rid of talent.
No. He's talented. We know that. All these guys have talent. Is he the guy?
They all don't. That's the problem. Like
by the time you get
the Bulls' mindset before was you get rid of Jimmy Butler and you rebuild with these young. What rebuild worked? What like getting rid of Zach? You're not getting a player that's comparable. You're going to get draft capital, and you're going to get. And here's the thing: AK has already said he's going to offer him the max. So that's almost dead. But like, if Zach decides to leave, you're going to get draft capital, and you're going to get young pieces, and you're going to hope that those pieces develop into becoming Zach Levine. I'm
not saying that, and I see you, Rodney. I'm not saying to get rid of Zach, let him walk. I'm saying that, yes, do you get a player that's forget we know that doesn't work, just getting draft picks and hopefully somebody grows. You need to go get you a guy. So can we flip him, sign and trade to get someone in here that fits? A la Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre type of deal, right? The right kind of fit. Like you get talent for talent so that we can keep it moving. What team are you going to trade him to that you're going to get talent for talent back that he's going to want to be on that team? That's why I feel like this is clutch sports, right? I feel like we want to make sure that the Bulls give us our 210. I know he said that he's going to give us 210, but we want to be sure that the Bulls give us our 210. And so they're putting all these stories out there. Casey Johnson bites on it. LeVar Ball is adding to the flames by saying what he says, but I didn't even hear what he said. He just said Zach's not going to want to play second fiddle, which I don't think Zach would be playing. I don't think Zach would have played second fiddle this season if he was healthy. But here's what I'm looking at. Say we trade him, like name the team, the Lakers. You trade Zach Levine to the Lakers. Are you going to get comparable talent back?
And to make the contract work, I'm snatching a good amount of your talent that you feel like you're going to feel is even. Like AK is not going to take an L on the Zach Levine deal.
No, I never said that. It might end up being a 3-team trade type of deal. I don't know. We don't know. It's all talk and conjecture right now.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I am not mad if we can get another talent without having been locked into paying $40 million to a guy that I don't think is necessarily going to take us to the promised land. And then even with the Jimmy Butler comment, that's Garpax. That's that administration and how they had a homegrown talent because we wanted a two guard for so bad.
We can't figure out how to build around this player that's a two-way player.
We always need a two-way player. And we finally get a two-way player. And then we trade him because we gave him $95 million. Because he wants to win. He wants to win. We can't do something with that guy. No. Yeah. I just think that, my thing is, who is the man on Chicago? Who is the leader?
Here's the thing, right? The difference is like I said, it's a moot point at this point because AK said he's going to give him the max. He's going to give him 210. He's going to offer him 210. It's a matter of if Zach wants it, right? Like that's a different situation as a whole. If Zach wants to leave, that's a different situation for the Bulls to be in. But the problem, I would question whether Zach wants to leave because no matter what team I send you to, I'm going to gut it. Because you now make $210 million because you're going to want all of your money. So you're going to have to make contracts work. And I'm going to, okay, you want to go play for the Lakers? You want to go play for the Spurs? You want to go play for whoever it is? Send me, release the Kraken.
Just like with PK. I agree with PK. My point is that, he's going to offer him the money, but who is the man? Who is the leader of this team? Embiid is the leader of the Sixers. LeBron is the leader of the Lakers. Who's the leader? DeMar is basically our leader of Chicago.
But it's because of having to step up.
I don't think so. I don't think that it's because he had to step up. I think that's just
when Zach was healthy and DeMar were healthy, they were putting up the same numbers. They were the best backcourt in the NBA. Yeah, they both were putting up 25 points a game.
Right, but DeRozan. It was DeRozan that's still the leader of the squad. And he became the leader.
Even if he takes over as the number one this season, right? In a year that Zach is hurt, in a year that Zach is trying to win. Zach needs to know how to win. At a minimum, DeMar knows how to win.
Wait, does he? You said he needs. Do you say he needs to know how to win, or he wants? You say he wants to win.
He's trying to learn how to win.
Right.
He's never been on, literally his whole career till last season. He's never been on a team that won.
Right. He got on the Olympics and he won with the Olympics.
He won with the Olympics. That's it. That's the
whole point.
He's ever been on that was successful. So there is something to say hey, I got to figure out what is going on and how we're going to do this. Like Zach Levine, if Zach Levine leads us to the promised land, perfect. But last season, Zach Levine's never had a player on his team that knew what winning felt like. Vooch is the only player that's been on a winning team, and them mugs was 43 and 41.
Yeah, but whether you have been on a winning team, do you have that dog in you? Who is the guy? Jimmy hasn't won a championship neither, but he wheeled that team to the finals in the bubble, and they're number one in the East right now.
But when did Jimmy change?
Huh?
When did Jimmy change?
I don't know if he's ever changed. He's just gotten better.
When did you see the mindset, the dog, the leadership in Jimmy Butler change?
He's had it when he was in Chicago. They started bickering and fighting. It was there.
Yeah, he had it. But it was when D Wade showed up and started telling him what he could be and how he needed to move. Everybody says that's when he got Hollywood. No, that's when he started figuring out I'm the leader of this team. Yeah, and I need to start making these moves.
No.
Before that, it was still Derek's team.
No. Yes. Well, you got to remember, Jimmy was a second-round pick? Jimmy worked himself to a point that he was now saying, I'm a starting shooting guard because no one ever really heard of him. He was just playing defense. Yeah. He built himself up. He built up his confidence. Then, yes, he does get with Dwayne Wade. That does help that. But he's always was that dog in him to get better. He was always ascending. Zach Levine was a very talented player, winning the dunk contest, young guy with all the talent in the world. but I don't see him. He's gotten better offensively, right?
His
But
entire game has improved every season. What are we talking about here?
but I don't know if he's that leader, that dog that's really going to come over the likes of. Is he going to wilt under the pressure to go up against the likes of an Embiid, of a Jason Tatum? Is he going to slay LeBron? Who is going to do that?
I'll say this. I watched him in the playoffs this year give everything he could and literally be the one player that looked like, oh, he might be able to play basketball.
Yeah, but we've been hearing that for like 5 years now.
5 years when your next best player was Antonio Blakeney?
It's always been about potential with him. I like him as a player. I just don't know if he is the guy where I'm going to commit starter money, $40 million a year, to be that dude.
Yeah, but we're basing it off of the one season where he wasn't healthy for us.
No, we're not basing off of 1 year of healthy. We're
Well,
basing off
if
of
you're basing it off of everything you saw before, you're talking about 25, 5, or 27, almost 28, 5 and 5.
Yeah, look, dude, there's countless guys that get good numbers and the numbers state that you should get paid.
5 and 5?
Clyde Drexler couldn't win a championship. He finally went over to
He
Houston.
made it to an NBA Finals.
Allen Houston was a good player that averaged 20 points. You got a lot of guys that average numbers.
Again,
he's a good player.
But you're seeing this with now a team that's good around him. Your neck. I literally said on Locked On and on here today, the Bulls front office drafted a dude named Zipser. They paid Cristiano Felicio.
Yep.
There's never been the gap in talent has been mountainous. And now when we get similar talent on the team and talent that we feel like is going to move you in the right direction, it's the 1 year that Zach is hurt. And guess what? He still went out there night in and night out and gave everything he could for this team. I would absolutely pay Zach Levine moving forward. I believe in that. Like I believe it. And I'll tell you this right now. Like, again, like I feel like we're arguing a moot point there. Like, but I've seen Zach Levine's game get better. Yes. I've seen Zach Levine move in the right direction. Yes. I've seen Zach Levine put himself to the point where he was an all-star. Yes. Multiple years. That means something. That means that at a minimum, right? Like he's always working to get better. If players are working to get better,
listen,
that's all I can hope for.
Listen. Before, and even I'm seeing this chat starting to jump. I didn't say let him walk. I don't have the answers of who they're going to get. We didn't know AK and Acme was going to do what they did to get to where we are now. So are they going to be smart enough to say, hey, I believe in them. If they say Zach is the guy, then fine. I just have my opinion. Yeah. Now, they may make a move to flip to get someone to help build this team to make it better.
It would be based on if Zach wants to be here or not.
Right. He may not want to be here. So they got to make a move to make that they might have to make a move. But my problem is he has a bulky knee issue. I don't know if he is actually the leader of the squad. And so to pay him all that type of money, I mean, it's like, okay, what Russell Westbrook? Would you rather have Russell Westbrook? He's getting paid how much? $47 million. And he's not a leader. But people will be like, but he could do this. He could do that.
I can't say Russ isn't a leader. I'll say that Russ on the Lakers is in the worst situation.
Look at all of Russ's teams. What are you talking about? Ever since post Durant, look at his teams. But he's got all the talent in the world. The mentality is I'm a black hole. I can do everything.
He's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah, he can dunk. He can. He's an average shooter. He can dunk.
I thought you meant like he had all the talent on his team in the world. I was gonna say like,
no, I'm saying him as a player.
Yeah.
My point is that you're paying him $47 million, and they're not necessarily getting better. You got 3 uber talented guys. Now we know AD was hurt, but LeBron is the talent that he is, and with Westbrook, but they practically play the same position. But they couldn't even figure it out. They got the talent.
Yeah, but that's because the same issue you have with LeBron is the same issue you have with Russell Westbrook. The best team LeBron ever had, the point guard on that team was a shooting guard.
Well, that's because LeBron is a point guard.
LeBron's a point guard.
Right.
You brought in Russell Westbrook. That's why I said DeMar DeRozan would not have had the season he had here out there. There's no way because he's not a spot-up shooter.
Well, first of all,
LeBron needs spot up shooters around him. LeBron
Okay.
needs guys that can shoot the ball.
I get that. He does. He definitely needs shooters. But my point is that just because a guy is talented doesn't necessarily mean that, yes, he's put the time. It doesn't mean he's necessarily worth all that money if it's not the right fit, where it's like to me, Zach is a good player. I never said he isn't. I just don't know if he has the mental fortitude where he's going to be the guy that take us to the promised land. That's all I'm saying.
Even if he doesn't, if he's healthy, can he shoot above 40% from three?
Yeah, but you can get.
But I'm talking about what the Bulls need right now. If he's healthy, can he shoot above 40% from three?
Well, I mean, if you want to overpay $40 million to have him be the second or third fiddle, then by all means, we can afford it.
You're talking about $40 million in 3 years.
Actually, let's look up.
It would be 30. It would be 29 million this year. I think it would get 35 next, and then you'd be talking about 40 million in 3 years.
Look. If we can afford it, then fine. But if we got to go to luxury tax and we're stuck and we can't build around his team, I'm just saying he's not the guy. So we're still going to need someone that's going to lead us to the promised land.
So
Lonzo is too docile to me. I don't think Vooch really is that guy. The only guy that really left.
I don't think Vooch will be a part of this team on a championship run just based on age.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
Here's the thing about the Bulls, right? Even how AK's positioned it, everything. I know it's not what a lot of Bulls fans want to hear. It's all based on the development of P. Will. It's all based on the development of P. Will. Like Zach Levine might be the guy, he might be, but how the Bulls have positioned themselves is with very young talent that is going to have to take one more step. P. Will, being 20 years old, is going to have to become your number 2 option on this team.
But what does he really become? Like, does he become
an
all-world defender?
I'll say this. Next year, P. will be one of the best defenders in the NBA. I've already said that. If he became one of the best defenders in the NBA, if not the best defender with Luol Deng numbers, we would have a problem on our hands.
Well, I mean, I believe in what Acme has done because just in 2 short years, we've already have a contender, a playoff contender.
Yeah.
Versus what we've had to suffer through with the last few years with the last group. So this is year 1, by the way, of this new iteration of a team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, to me, we could be talking all this stuff right now because right now they're like, we're just getting to this point.
I think this is just the propaganda. You know what I'm saying? It's good conversation, right? But we do have things in fact. Like, we know how Clutch Sports operates. And we know that AK says he's going to pay him his money. So now it's like, it's on Zach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's on Zach. That's really what, like, if Zach wants to be, and here's the thing, on the flip side, say Zach doesn't want to be a Chicago Bull. I trust in AK. You know why? Because if Zach doesn't want to be a Chicago Bull, that means that I can trade him to a team that feels like they're almost a contender. He doesn't have an NTC. AK has all of the power. Oh, you want to sign a trade? That's a bet. Okay. Right. I'm going to trade you to a team that is a contending team. They may not be a contending team when you get there, though, because you now make $210 million. They're going to at least send me a draft pick that I could probably flip into something. And they're probably, like, say we trade them to Portland.
Yep.
All right. Let me get Anthony Simons. Let me get your draft pick.
No, give me Dame. Just give me Dame. We're going to flip it.
You're not going to get Dame.
I want Dame.
Because the whole point of making the trade is to
Dame.
put somebody next to Dame.
I want Dame.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, any team Dame. You send him to, we're going to gut it.
I want Zion.
What team are you going to send him to? Like, the Lakers are going to try and send you AD.
I would say take AD, but it's like he's not motivated to be the. He's got all the talent in the world too, but it's like, is he going to be dedicated? Is he going to really work hard?
I don't want a Packers fan on the team. I ain't gonna lie to you. Something about that don't sit right with me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That was very disrespectful.
Seeing a 7-foot dude in full Packers gear on the sideline from Chicago, I'm just like,
what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro?
You got issues, brother. Hey, the tough part about it is when he like explains what why he's a Packers fan. It sucks as a Bears fan, though. He's just like, I mean, I grew up watching the Bears. But they kept losing.
Right. That's like me growing up. Hey, that's like me growing up like with the Cubs. Like the Sox were actually winning for me. The Cubs were losers to me.
I was watching them. They just kept losing. Oh man, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. I'm looking. I think, like I said, this is propaganda to me. I think Casey Johnson needed something to write about today. Not to say that I don't think that he's vetted his sources. Not to say that I don't think that Casey's an excellent writer, right? But for me, there's nothing logical on any of the teams we could send him to for him to start over. Like any team you send him to, minus the Lakers, right? Like if you got LeBron next to you, you're not starting over. I'm sorry. Like he's still that dude. And with the Lakers, it will work. But like, are they a championship team? If I take Malik Monk and I take THT and their pick that they could use for something, and like what am I gonna give from you that's gonna make you keep you as a championship team?
I don't know, man. I feel like, I don't know if it's necessarily based on that. And who says that, Zach might go somewhere and just count. He might be the next Carmelo, where he just counts his money. He goes and plays. He's doing his thing, and he's rich now. So I don't know if he's really like, yeah, I'm hungry to win this title. You know what?
I think he's hungry to win because of what we saw this season. Or like, he hasn't won. Like he's never won. That's crazy to think. He's been in the NBA since 2014. His first winning season was in 2022.
Yeah, but okay, look, Jimmy.
Jimmy was always on winning teams.
No, he took Minnesota, who sucked, and they went to the playoffs.
But they won. Jimmy's never been on a losing team.
Oh, Jimmy won, and then he left. They were whatever.
But
then he goes.
But Jimmy won. What I'm saying is like Zach Levine has never been on a winning team.
No. You said the right words. You said Jimmy won. Zach hasn't won because he didn't will it. Jimmy has willed it.
Where was Karl Anthony Towns on this team? Or Andrew Wiggins? Where was that level of talent? If we had Andrew Wiggins' talent, the Bulls might have made the playoffs. You know who our next best player while Zach Levine has been here has been? Thaddeus Young.
Hey, man, you don't talk about Thaddeus Young like that.
I love Thad. That's the next best player the Bulls have had.
I there's a caveat, yes, that Jimmy had some more talent, but that talent was doing boo-boo before Jimmy got there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But are they talented players?
Yeah, yes, I get that. Zach,
we didn't have those.
I understand that. And that the whole point was that poor Zach, he came here because he was 19, 20 years old, coming off his injury. That's the potential pick versus us getting a player that's ready to go now. Jimmy's 20-something years old. He did all the potential stuff within a year or two.
I mean, listen, your potential pick the year he left shot 38% from three and scored 18 points a game, 19 points a game.
Right.
Like if that's your potential pick, I can live with that.
I got you.
And that potential is turned from 18 points a game to 27.
But the point is identifying talent with the right mentality that wants to win. We've had the greatest player of practically of all time came in as a rookie, destroying the league.
Yeah, and that was 30 years ago.
I know it was 30 years ago, but the point is that yes, and then when he did I get it, you have to have talent. I'm not saying anything about
even when he came into the NBA, when did he start winning?
Well, he won. He just couldn't beat and get past the second and third rounds. I mean, he made it to the playoffs every year.
He made it to the playoffs.
Right. Every year they made the playoffs. And there was a growth and ascension until the team really got to the point of playoff contention to a championship contention.
So even with that, the best player in the world just made it to the playoffs because there wasn't enough talent around it.
Correct.
And I'm supposed to believe that Zach Levine is supposed to win with Paul Zipser and
no.
Blakeney.
Whoa. No. I'm saying that he doesn't have the mentality to say they had to recognize and say we're going to build around him, just like someone said we got to build around Jimmy.
But that's what they just did with Zach.
No, but Zach ain't the guy. Zach is not like, yo.
But why? AK said it. Why did AK say that he put this team together to prove to Zach Levine that I want to be here. That
Hold
we
on.
want you to be here.
Who's Coach Dre? Well, yeah. Who's Coach Dre? I'm trying to remember that.
I don't know.
What name is? No, I used to ride the Metro with Carl
He knows
and Van.
something personal about you. You know something personal about you right
Hey,
now.
who was that? Who's the train friends, man? We used to talk sports all the time on the train.
Hey,
That's
man,
all we did.
Look at you coming a long way.
Dude, that's all we did. We had like a 10-year run. We used to like terrorize the train. We was laughing loud. We made the quiet car. I believe that we invented the quiet car for the train. Dude, that's all we did was talk sports. I loved it. Anyways,
man. Hey, man. Hey, Zach Levine took us all off course, man. It's a good way to close the show. It's a Chicago-based sports show, man. We got a few minutes left. We got about 5 minutes left, man. What's your? I mean, listen. Last night was a blowout. I mean, was it like that was scary to see. Do you think that we see a competitive game tonight?
With the Warriors and look. I'm rooting for the Warriors. To me.
Hey, he was there. That's when we picked the teams, and kids said Portland, and I said the Warriors. Who'd you pick?
No, to me,
who you picked?
No, the Warriors. No, they're gonna beat them. I mean, Dallas. To me, outside of Luka, what's gonna happen? I mean, Brunson. You know, I mean, the Warriors got too much talent.
Just Lake County talent, my boy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Brunson
just saying,
high school around us.
I hear you, but I'm just saying that the Warriors got too much talent.
They do. They got
way too much talent. Like, I'm sorry.
The Warriors go 10 deep.
They got the original 3. Plus, they got another 30-point score. And they still got the other number 1 pick in the draft in Wiggins. Like,
yeah. They go pretty deep.
Matter of fact, they got the new. He's the new. Well, no. See, that's another thing. Mental fortitude. Well, who's my man? Oh my God. Who won the MVP for the Warriors instead of Steph? AI, Andre Iguodala. I remember. I remember.
Yeah, there you go.
Mental fortitude. Putting the team on the back. When it matters. That's all I want from Zach. Anyways, but I'm gonna pick the Warriors regardless. They're gonna win those series. And it looks like Miami's gonna go all the way through anyway. So we're gonna see a Miami Warriors finals, and that's gonna be cool.
After last night, you think Miami's getting through?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? They still got defense.
I mean, Boston worked them mugs out last night. Yeah, you got to be able to score as well, though. Listen, that's like the Bears right now. You know, the story of Ringo saying, "Man, we just missed shots," is almost as prevalent with the Bulls. Like,
right.
They just got better talent.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think that
I love Killers. Pull up the community tab, man. The community tab he lit, bro. Hold up. This was Kid yesterday. Let me see if I can zoom this mug in a little bit before we get up out of here. Bro, it took all of 19 minutes for Kid to completely change his take on where the Warriors were going, or where the Celtics were. Heat and 6 at 9:24. At 9:43, I have to make an adjustment. The Celtics just very well may be heading to the finals. Hey, bro, when I saw that, I was like, you gotta relax, bro. I'm talking about it took you 19 minutes to change opinion.
You know what, though? So I was talking to my guy, and I originally did pick Boston to go to the finals because I just felt like we saw Jason Tatum, he took a step. And so, but then I was like, I'm going to pick Miami to win the first game because they're at home. Yeah. And so I did think like Jimmy might do this, but Boston, it's hard to guard 6'10" that can just go, crazy. So I'm going to root for Jimmy just because, Jimmy's the man.
Because it's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy, man. I mean, you can't, that heart and toughness, that's what we want. And it sucks to see that lead walk out the door, but whatever.
Hey, man, so I'm just saying. They were saying the exact same things about Jimmy when you got
we didn't see heart and toughness like that with Zach.
They were saying the exact same thing about Jimmy. It was literally just like, you'll never win a championship with Jimmy Butler. He's a nice player. He'll never be a top player in the NBA. Everything they said, Jimmy took all of like a year and a half, 2 years.
And he used that as,
you know what? Idiots.
You know what? And he'd use that as Tom Brady as motivation to make him great.
I want to see. Maybe StatMuse got this before because, like, we always talk about that player coming back and killing us. I want to see what Jimmy Butler's record is versus the Bulls since he left. Because I feel like even with Minnesota, I don't think Jimmy has lost much versus us. I know he beat us when he was in Philly. He only played us once in Minnesota. Let's see, how many games is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bulls versus Miami. Let's see.
Against the Bills.
It's not showing up who won or lost. His numbers against the Bulls are ridiculous, though. It's like, what is it? 25, 6, and 5.
Yeah.
Just in case you were wondering if he was cooking us. And I don't know. I can't. It's just show. Oh, here we go. Yeah. We have beaten Jimmy Butler one time since he's been. Oh, dog. Listen, on the caveat side, right? This year is what I really count. Like, of course, they beat us in 19 and 20 and 21. But that's a bad look, dog. He didn't beat you. He's beaten you 7. He's literally 8-1 since leaving the Chicago Bulls versus the Bulls.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Appreciate y'all for always rocking with the show, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you haven't done so yet. That's the weekend, man. We'll be back bright and early Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. as always, man. Shout out to the super producer, Joel Holt, tuning in to the show today, man. We always love having them on. We're trying to set it up so that we can get everybody on this mug for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get that busting as well. But hey, y'all have a great weekend, man. Don't do nothing crazy. We supposed to get some rain today, I think. So, stay inside, all that good stuff. As always, man, it's your boy, Path the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.